Picking second will be the Utah Jazz, and that means that the number one pick in the 2026 NBA draft goes to the Washington Wizards.
Yeah, NBA Straya, how are you going? How you going? Are you good? You should be. Why is that, Jim? Well, the Washington Wizards won the NBA draft lottery. Oh, isn't that nice? I guess. Anyway, this is NBA Straya. I am your host, James Clements, here in Larry Armour Studios. It's Monday, May 11. And basketball, give me the ball, cause I'm gonna dunk it. Yeah! What a draft lottery that was. Oh, you're sort of there at like 5 in the morning, bleary-eyed, looking at the thing, headphones in, trying not to wake old mate, and trying to piece it all together as it's all happening. It's a bit of chaos, but it was very fun. We're going to talk out our draft lottery winners and losers. It's all very obvious, so I got a couple of fun ones in there. We also had a couple of Game 4s today. One team has booked their trip to the conference finals already as the Knicks swept the Sixers. Spoiler alert. And then we got an absolute ripper Game 4 of Spurs-Wolves where WEMBY was ejected. He got booted. I love he's like, does me elbowing the guy on the head, does that get me kicked out? Huh? It's like, yes it does. So we're going to wrap up those games. We've got That's on the Knife, Old Mate, No Mate, Spud of the Night, Better than Lonzo, Ball, get some Years, Unpopular Opinion of the Day, Outback Takehouse. Not much in the old Aussie player watch, but we've got a Andrew Gay's Great Mumber Award for Outstanding Achievement in the Field of Excellence. Good to see Gazy pop up on the internet. Who number 10? It's like, don't you disrespect our GOAT. Simple as that. Anyway, so it's going to be a fun one. Then we'll pick and preview tomorrow's other Game 4s, which is very, 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 very fun. So without further ado, let's get into it. Episode 1400 and dose of NBA Australia. Let's go.
This is Josh Giddey.
G'day, this is Andrew Gaze.
This is Jack White.
This is Joe Ingles.
This is Dyson Daniels.
This is Chris Anstey.
This is Matthew Delvedova.
This is Shane Hill.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening and watching NBA Australia.
This is NBA Australia. Let's do it.
Watch out for the shark attack.
You better. Or you better watch out for the Knicks fans attack if you're Philadelphia. Wow. That was, it was pretty bad for the Sixers, wasn't it? Not only are you getting swept, but your entire arena's been taken over by Knicks fans, and it's just a bit how you going. I'll tell you what. Anyway, we'll talk about that in a second. Let's start today's show the way we start every show with the daily. Oh, is it a whip around, Jim? Yes, it's a whip around. That's what the whip sound is for. So, obviously the big news is the draft lottery happened. And it was chaos. It was historic in a couple of different ways. How's that, Jim? Well, you just had the Wizards become the first team under the current lottery system to actually have the worst record and get the number one pick, which is pretty cool. The previous three, Utah and Detroit, twice actually fell as far as you can, like down from 1 through to 5. So the Wiz snagged number one, but after that, you had teams with the 4th, 6th, and 9th best odds at the number one pick jumping up into the top 4, which is, as it's happening, absolute chaos. I'm scrambling. I don't know. I'm just like, wait, who's there? Oh, Jesus. So Utah, Memphis, and Chicago bump Indy, Sacramento, and Brooklyn all the way down. So Indy, Brooklyn, and Sacramento dropping to 5, 6, 7 is A, hilarious, B, a disaster if you're Indiana, which I'll talk about in a second. But because this is historic, right? So since they sort of flattened those lottery odds, the 14%, where those bottom three teams have got the 14% of getting the best pick. Now, in 3 weeks' time, we're going to have this Board of Governors meeting where they're basically probably going to go, right, that's it. The bottom three actually get screwed over. You'd only have a 5.4% chance of getting number one, and everybody else, 4 through 10, gets 8.1%. So this is the last time probably that we're going to have the bottom three teams actually expecting to get a good pick. And I don't know, spoiler alert, by the time we get to not Outback Takehouse, I think Unpopular Opinion of the Day. It's like, I don't know. After the results today, do you reckon all those teams that tanked so hard are just like, oh, well, that was great? Because 3 of them are walking away horribly disappointed, right? And somehow Chicago got rewarded. Anyway, but there you go. So let's do some draft lottery winners and losers.
Oh my God. I won!
There you go. That's a quick look in at the Washington Wizards front office. I did love that John Wall, who was their last number one pick back in 2010, was the guy on the dais. Noted Southeast Melbourne Magic Phoenix basketball owner. But obviously the Wizards getting number one is a huge win. Oh, really, Jib? Yes, Captain Obvious. I get it. But it's even more of a win based on what they did this season, where suddenly they got Trae Young for a bag of chips. They got Anthony Davis because the Mavs are just consistently moronic. They get Anthony Davis for a bag of chips. Now they've got this young core, which, as I said on today's NBA Coffee Run video, no one knows if they're good because they play on the Washington Wizards. And they've just been shithouse for untold years. But you've still got dudes like Alexander Sarr, Keyshawn George, and all these sorts of dudes. But now you've got Trae Young and Anthony Davis and a potential number one pick. The cool thing is, they now have, and this sort of goes for a couple of the next teams as well, they now have 1 million T options. And that's probably good. I don't know if it's good for a team like Washington. I feel like a team like Washington needs to be boxed in just to limit the damage to themselves, right? Essentially, so they don't go and do something stupid, they'll probably go do something stupid. Trading Anthony Davis, trading down from the number one pick because they're like, we've got AD and Trae Young, and suddenly they're taking like A-Cuff at 3 or something. But here we are with this point where the Washington Wizards have like a decent-ish solid roster and the ability to throw the number one pick on top of that, presumably, if you have Trae Young good and if you have Anthony Davis good. You've got Sarr, you've got Keyshawn George, Bilal Coulibaly, Bub Carrington. You've got another lottery pick from last year, Trey Johnson, that you can sort of just throw in there. Did you know that D'Lo is on this team? It's awesome. A little bit, for at least a little bit. But this, it sort of feels like this is very nicely set up for the Wizards. And because they're the Wizards, they will probably screw it up. But for the minute, they are big winners because they have the number one pick. They are in the driver's seat. They are on the clock. They get to dictate terms as other teams fall more and more in love with like whoever they think the number one prospect is out of between Peterson, DeBanster, Cam Boozer, Caleb Wilson. You've got these dudes. Now you're the guys in charge. Now you're dictating terms. Great job for the Wizards. Another winner is obviously the Utah Jazz. It's a soft J. But this is hilarious because remember who got fined 500,000 smackaroos for tanking? The Utah Jazz. Now who's laughing? That's right, the Utah Jazz. Amazing stuff. This is incredibly though. I was saying this on yesterday's show. Like the basketball gods in karma have really screwed this one because they had been doing a very good job. The Utah Jazz had never moved up in draft lottery history. That's probably got a lot to do with the basketball gods punishing that team for employing Karl Malone, absolute shit person, for so long. And now the basketball gods might have actually just completely abandoned us. But anyway, this is a huge win for the Jazz, right? Because this is the crowning piece in the rebuild. They got Triple J. They've got Jaren Jackson Jr. They've got Kessler. They've got Lauri Markkanen. You've already got Keontae George, right? You've got Ace Bailey. You've got the absolute nucleus of a team that you can get really good real quick with next year, presumably. And you've also got a number 2 pick where if you look at if someone takes Peterson at number 1, you've got DeBanster. If DeBanster goes 1, you've got Peterson. You're like, fucking yes, mate. Like, this is just an awesome setup. The funniest thing would be if they took Boozer, and the same thing goes for Chicago, but we'll get to them in a second. But I think AJ next to like those dudes, next to Ace, even Peterson, I think taking over as like your point guard du jour. Like, I think that's fantastic. But having all those options, you've got a really great front court. I don't think you need Boozer. You're sort of looking at the perimeter guys. I love it for Utah. The big problem is, like, how lovable can Utah be? Right? But this is it. The result of the tanking is we've got a full set of talent. We're feeling pretty good about ourselves. We've done some pretty savvy moves here and there. We've got Larry, we've got Triple J. We haven't panicked. We're all laughing. And we've still got like a treasure chest still coming in from like the Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert trades. So winners, yes. The Memphis Grizzlies are obviously a winner as well. Whoa, geez, Jimmy, just going down the draft order? Yes, because that's how these winners and losers work. But Memphis, this is an amazing chance for the Grizzlies to either completely reset what they're doing, or bang, what was that? Oh, it's Ja Morant. He's still here. What was that? Oh, God. Ja, put down the gun. But basically, you can continue to build around Ja with all the existing young talent you've got on that Grizzlies team that we've seen way too much of the last couple of years because everyone's always been hurt. But top-end talent, like a top 3 pick in a 4-person draft, that's huge compared to like picking 6. It's unreal. So now you've got like just this sort of battery of young dudes that you can throw out there. And if you decide to keep Ja, like the cool thing is I think it means that with all their options open, they don't have to panic trade Ja. They can also just go, right, whatever we get in return for Ja now doesn't really matter because we can just put all our resources around this number 3 pick and our existing young dudes. They're not forced into a shitty trade. They can just make a shitty trade. They can make a decent trade. They can make whatever trade they need to. They're not acting from a place of desperation anymore. So that's a huge win for the Grizzlies. So you've got Ja Morant on this team. You've got Cedric Coward. You've got Jalen Wells. You've got Edey. Like, they got Taylor Hendricks in the Triple J trade. They've got a battery of picks still coming as well, right? They've got Ty Jerome, Scottie Pippen Jr. You've got Walter Clayton Jr. You've got some dudes there. And if they end up with Boozer, if they end up with Caleb Wilson, whatever, but they're feeling pretty great about themselves, I think, right now. And they might also be a team that goes, how about we move up? Should we kick the tires and see if we can convince the Wizards that they really love Ja Morant, the number 3 pick? That'd be the funniest trade. Anyway, Memphis, big win up because like if it's Boozer, if it's Wilson, it doesn't matter. I think with your options being so much more open than they were heading into this, huge win for the Grizzlies. Chicago, obviously a massive win for them. Huge result for the Bulls. And like this isn't even ethical tanking. They just went in the tank when they were so dumb that they fell ass backwards into tanking and then went, oh gosh, I guess we better tank even better. The crazy part is like Patch Williams is like this specter hanging over their head with a top 4 pick. I'm just like, they're going to go take like a cuff or something. But essentially, Boozer being there at 4 would be pretty funny. Just, we've got a couple of Boozer teams in 2 and 4 that he used to play for, and now we can go back there again. But anyway, but it adds a level of credibility, I guess, to whatever the Bulls can now build out with a new front office, a new coach. You've got Giddey, you've got Boo. I was saying Boo Zealous. You've got a bunch of dudes. It's a bit of youth. And if you can add some like crazy athleticism in someone like Caleb Wilson or something like that, I'll tell you what, they've got a bit of history with UNC to the Chicago Bulls as well. So that'd be kind of fun. The big problem is because they traded away all of their other good dudes and got sweet fuck all in return because the Bulls front office before this one was stupid as shit. You kind of feel like they'd wish they had a few more assets floating around and just looking at their roster going, oh, I don't feel great about this. But anyway, they've got to be feeling good. And obviously the other big one is the Clippers. What a result. They trade Zoobs and in return get 2 first-rounders and Benny Mathurin. Moving Zoobs for a top 5 pick, number 5, is ridiculous. But also getting Garland for Harden as you're watching James Harden just shit down his pants again in a playoff series. Yes, he was good in game 3, but guess what? That's what he does. If the game's one that really matters, no shows. But now they've got a top 5 pick. They've got an unprotected Indiana pick in 2029. I do love the Henry. Oh, we love Zoob so much. We loved him so much. We wouldn't have given him up if we hadn't have gotten this protection on this pick. It's like, oh, yeah, sure. Sure, you wouldn't have at all. But wow. Clippers have just completely pressed reset on like the Harden Kawhi era, or some would say era. But it's like the button's been pressed. Garland is there now, 26. You've got Kawhi still floating around. You've got a top 5 pick now, whether that be like a scoring guard, one of the other perimeters. You're feeling pretty bloody good about yourselves. And away you go. Great job by the Clippers. And I guess outside of that, we're going to do some losers. Because that's basically just the top 5. And everyone else...
We're not losers. No, you two are winners.
You're big winners, all of you. Good job.
When I grow up, I want to marry a big winner like you guys.
Yeah.
Shut up. Loser.
Losers. That's right. You're all losers. But especially the Indiana Pacers. That is a disaster. When your front office head dude, Kevin Pritchard, comes out and goes, I am really sorry. I thought the basketball gods were on our side. So this is one of the great moments, not in NBA Straya stat history, but in just, he actually said that kind of history. So he came out and said today, I'm really sorry to all our fans. I own taking this risk. Surprised it came up 5th after this year. Dude, it was quite literally a 50-50 chance that it goes top 4 or you have to give it to the Clippers. Anyway, I thought we were due some luck. Kev, that's not a strategy. But I thought we were due. Okay, man. But please remember, this team deserved a starting center to compete with the best teams next year. We have always been resilient. I mean, yeah, you got a starting center. He's 29. And yes, it'll be fine with Halliburton back. Zoob's next to Siakam. You've got Naismith. You've got Nemhard. You've got your dudes, right? But having the 5th pick as well as Zoobs would have been good. That's just... So now you've suddenly traded an unprotected 2029 pick and the 5th pick in this draft and Benny Mathurin. And what you've gotten in return is Ivica Zubac, who was not great. I'll tell you what, in the back half when he popped off and played for the Pacers, and then they went, that'll do, pig, that'll do. But yeah, like they had a chance to do a reset rebuild where you've got Siakam, you've got obviously Zoobs, you've got a couple of veterans in there. You've got a team that went to the finals last year, and then you can replenish that. You're a small market team. If you get like a top 4 pick, you get Caleb Wilson, you can just sort of hang out and learn how to do all the good stuff next to Siakam. Or you get DeBancer and you've suddenly got this awesome perimeter weapon for Halliburton. And like, I think the weird thing about this Zubac thing is, it's like, yeah, I think Boston just proved that you can contend and be very good with a serviceable big man on a scrap heap contract, right? Not giving up 2 first-rounders for a 29-year-old guy who's not exactly going to be a fucking defensive terror, you know what I'm saying? And yes, Zoobs is pretty good on defense. I get it, but fucking hell, man. Like, he's not Mobley, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, I do sort of feel like you sort of come out of this. He also said, disappointed because this was a great draft. Everyone says, why didn't you protect it a lot deeper? Unfortunately, we weren't able to. That was the vig for us to get Zubac. Well, I mean, you were able to. Like, you didn't have to get Zubac, right? Just, they had a high price for him and they weren't giving him up just for anything. It's like, then maybe don't make the deal. But we had luck on our side. It's like, no, you've not a strategy, Kevin. Not a strategy. All I want now, though, is like a T-shirt that says, we went 19-63, and all I got was this lousy Zubac. Anyway, the other losers, Brooklyn. How's this for Brooklyn's lottery luck since 2010? So I sat through a lot of this living in the States, just watching just brutality just wail on the Nets time after time after time. When they've held their own pick, the Brooklyn Nets, the pick has underachieved, gone backwards all 3 times. When another team has had the Nets pick, it's either overachieved or it's stayed even all 6 other times. That's just one kick in the dick after the other for the poor Brooklyn fans. And I think this is like a really bad outcome again because Sean Marks will fucking outsmart everybody and take someone's shithouse at 6 and be like, oh, bro, I really believe in our system and I think we've got really good player here to pair with our other shit players that I've picked. And you're like, this is great, Sean Marks. You've just covered yourself in glory again. But anyway, Brooklyn at 6 is, after the years that they've had and the draft they had last year where they've somehow had 5 first-rounders and none of them really popped, when you've got so many other decent players in that first round and they managed to fucking whiff on all of them, now you got number 6 when there's a 4-person draft? Fucking hell. So they're going to be just begging and hoping that like someone like Chicago's dumb enough to drop down to 6 from 4 for like, hey, look at this. It's Michael Porter Jr. Look at this. Look at that. Look at this. Hey, good Michael Porter Jr. Here, Michael Porter Jr. Michael Porter Jr. going once and twice. And yeah, not going to happen. Brooklyn, fucked. Obviously, the Kangs. My notes are literally ha 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 ha. Kangs. Year from hell, and they're picking 7, baby. Absolute chaos. And I don't know, the funniest thing is there's like a bunch of like guards around that area that they'd be picking and like, oh, I don't know, man. We've already got, you know, Devin Carter, who Doug Christie only just fucking met 4 days ago. Russell Westbrook, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Keegs Murray, the Souvlaki King, DeMar Sabonis, Malik Monk, Nick Clifford, who I do like, Precious Achiuwa, DeAndre Hanna, and Maxi Reynaud. And the thing is, like, they'll just take Malik Monk 2.0. And, yeah, that's going to go great. And the last loser, I guess, is probably, you know, everyone else, but mostly Atlanta, right? When you got 3 teams jumping up into the top 4 that didn't have, like, the worst odds, Atlanta had 2 bites at the apple, right? If Milwaukee jump up, they get the pick. If the Pelicans move up, they get the pick. They're fucking laughing. And suddenly, somehow, with 3 teams jumping up, and neither of them are the ones that would help Atlanta. That is just a kick in the nuts. I'll tell you that much. Honorable mention, loser, Golden State. They're going to be spewing after Adam Silver didn't help them out. They're light years ahead, though. Don't forget that. So, there you go. The full order of the draft is Washington at 1. Utah in 2. 3 is Memphis. 4, Chicago. 5, the LA Clippers. 6 is Brooklyn. 7, Sacramento. Atlanta. And 8, Dallas at 9. Also kind of a bit of a loser because they sort of like got Cooper Flag and have this year from fucking hell and sort of like give up AD for nothing. But I guess Chris Middleton wants to hang out. Sure. I don't know. It's a bit... Anyway. 9 is just a bit of a janky spot. So it'll be interesting to see what Dallas do. But giving up on AD seems fucking stupid in retrospect still. 10 Milwaukee. That's another bit of a loser because if they had jumped up, they've probably got a pretty good chance of maybe either, you know, transitioning into the Giannis period. Actually, they are a big loser as well. I should have written them down. Because if you don't have that top 4 pick to go, it's okay, Giannis, thanks for everything, we'll see you later. Like, again, this is the Memphis sort of corollary where you're not trading from a place of desperation. You're trading from a place where, oh, well, we've got this next dude who we feel confident in that can take the Giannis spot and we move on from here. But at 10, you're just like, we're fucked. So I guess they probably start kicking tires and like, how do we... Hey, Memphis, how do you feel about Giannis? Washington, do you want to pair Trae Young and AD with Giannis? Hey, Chicago, what do you reckon? They're like, oh, maybe. Anyway, so it's a bit chaotic there for Milwaukee. 11 Golden State, 12 OKC getting that Clippers pick from the Paul George trade. Miami in 13, and then 14 is Charlotte. So that's your lottery. And the rest of it's sort of as 15 through 30. The craziest part is I actually flagged this the other day, right? Talking about the back half of the first round. Only 5 teams have their own pick. 5. That's it. So the NBA need to fix the fucking hat situation because we know where these picks are going and on trades and on fucking draft night. Just fix this shit, right? But you've got this sort of litany of trades. And like this is what I'm trying to get us to as a society. With the stealing Santa rules for draft picks. Like if it's been traded twice, it can't be traded again and you can't trade a pick. Anyway, basically, because this is how it goes. At 16, you got Chicago. They get that from Portland. 16, you got Phoenix. That goes to Memphis from Orlando. Right. See? Philly, they get that. That goes to Oklahoma City. You're like, oh, geez. And then you've got Orlando. That goes to Charlotte from Phoenix. You've got Toronto taking their own pick at 19. Not bad. Had some success at 19, I think, as well. Atlanta goes to San Antonio. Minnesota goes to Detroit. Houston, that one goes to Philly as part of the Jared McCain deal. So, yes, you gave up on Jared McCain. You sold high. You got the number 22 pick. Awesome. Great job, Daryl. Cleveland, that goes to Atlanta in 23. 24 is New York. 25 is the Lakers. 26 is Denver. 27 is Boston. See how those 4 teams have just not traded those picks and are actually good? Just saying. Detroit goes to Minnesota at 28. 29, San Antonio goes to Cleveland from Atlanta. And OKC at 30 goes to Dallas from Washington and Philly. It's a fucking dog's breakfast. And come on, man. We're going to fix this shit. Anyway, there you go. That was the draft lottery. Stupid fucking timing. Hated it being this early in the fucking day. It doesn't give you like a run of fucking... Like, I don't know why they're doing it on a Sunday because like... I think about things in terms of content machine, right? And if you do this on your usual Thursday, you get a run into the weekend where it's like massive ballyhoo about the draft lottery. NBA, they've just gone and fucked it completely again. What a surprise twist. Anyway, let's do some game wraps. Game wraps. Really easy today because the Knicks kicked the absolute living shit out of the Sixers, 144-114. All over Red Rover right out of the gate because Deuce McBride went 1, 2, 3, 4, bang. How you like that? He hit 4 back-to-back threes and the game was over from that point. Geez, Jim, really? It's like basically yes. It was 20-6 out of the gate and it never stopped. They hit 11 threes in the first fucking quarter. It was absolutely nuts. And it never stopped. They kept hitting 1 million threes. Like it stopped in the second half where they were threatening to break the record. They tied the playoff like single game record for made threes ever with 25. They were sitting there at 23 heading into the fourth quarter. And yeah, they just sort of that's their most points, I think, in a playoff game as well for the Knicks. And that's their 7th straight win in the playoffs. They've got a 19.4 point margin of victory, which is the largest through 2 rounds since the playoffs went to 16 teams in 1984. Yeah, this was a shit pumping. 8 of 35 from downtown for the Sixers. Maxey just looked bothered by his finger all series, like especially the last couple of games. But this is it. Like the thing in this Knicks run that I've been fucking banging the drum about as much as I can is the defense has been the biggest difference maker. Yes, they're scoring fucking points by the bucket load, but they're also stopping the other team, which makes shit a lot easier for them up the other end. The playmaking of Cat's been awesome. The playmaking of Brunson's been awesome. But the defense from Mikal Bridges, Josh Hart, obviously OG before he got hurt. But this is a great outcome for OG, who doesn't play Game 3, doesn't play Game 4, gets to rest up until the conference finals. Who the fuck knows when the East is going to start, right? It's going to be like halfway through next week. So this is great. So Max ends up with 17 points, but he shoots 6 of 16. And it's the same thing apart from like Embiid for basically everyone on Philly. PADP had 7 points on 7 shots. Brutal. Oubre managed 10, couldn't hit anything. 8 points for VJ Edgecombe on 4 of 14. Edwards was 0 of 6 from deep, I think, which is the same as VJ. And Embiid was the only one who sort of like had a little bit going, but it's just too little. And when you don't have, I don't know, a bench spark like, I don't know, Jared McCain, yeah, you've got you're pushing shit uphill very fucking quickly if you feel it, right? So Embiid had 25-5-4, right? So 24-5-4. There you go. 8 of 8 from the floor. 2 of 2 from 3. He was awesome. But he's also Embiid and he's looking fucking gassed halfway through and you're like, oh, yeah, this game's already over. So go sit down, mate. He's like, oh, all right. It was such an ass kicking. What was it? 81 points at the half. to like 57. And you're like, that. I'm like watching this in the morning with the squids. I'm like, I need to get you guys. I can get started on basically sorting you out and getting you out the fucking door. This game is over. And yeah, it was. The Knicks, 25 of 44 from downtown. That tells the story. But 43 to 24 in the first quarter. They slapped the ever-living shit out of them and never let them get back in the game. And that, again, is sort of where the defense comes in, right? Because the Sixers are still like, oh, we've got a bit of hope. And nah, the third quarter, they fucked them up again. And the defensive sort of nous that they have is just a little bit terrifying. Brunson with a 22, 4, and 6. He hit 6 threes. Deuce McBride had 25. He hit 7 threes. That was awesome. Cat had 17 points and 10 assists. That's what I was talking about, right? Bridges at 12, 4, and 6. Hart hits 4 threes. He has 17 and 9. ShamWow hits 4 threes. Clarkson and Alvarado are very solid off the bench. And there you go. The Knicks get a massive sweep. Back-to-back conference finals for them. That's huge. It's also great for your mate Jim, which I'm going to talk about later. Anyway, so great job. We say goodbye to the Sixers. What we'll do is like this, as this sort of second round comes to a bit of a close, I think by the time we get to it, the end of it, we'll do a little bit of a look back at the second round losers, maybe some of the first round losers, and just sort of go, right, where are they? What are they doing? Right? And the Sixers, like getting swept, it's a bit more of a kick in the dick, I reckon. Like Embiid is like, hey man, even though we lost, I'm happy because I came out of it healthy. It's like, you didn't fucking look healthy, Joel. But anyway, I think Sixers fans will come out of that going, well, look, at least we beat Boston. But also, like you can see how the Maxey, Paul George, and Embiid thing works when they're healthy. And it's like, yeah, we already knew that though. Like the biggest problem was trading away assets like Jared McCain, but you sold high, so it's going to be okay. Anyway, tough one for the Sixers, I reckon. And then we had San Antone, 109. Minnesota, 114. Wemby out there getting booted. What does that mean? It's like, means you're ejected. He's like, oh shit, I better go. All because he threw a vicious fucking elbow at Nasreed's head and obviously copped him. So flagrant 2 for Wemby. He's out of there. And the game, you're sort of sitting there going, fuck, this could get away from the Spurs very, very quickly. And it started to. And then it sort of didn't. It was like only 60-54 at the half. Wolves up. Ant-Man already had 18 at that point. He was like fucking carving them up. But Castle, Fox, and Harper had all sort of stepped up for the Spurs. They were doing, a little bit more. It was pretty good. They're carrying a little bit more of the load. They were kind of in it as well because I think Minnesota had like 9 turnovers in the first half and it sort of like helped them out a little bit. And then suddenly the small ball Spurs, it just starts working. They're getting a lot more easy looks at shit. They're up 8. It was like 80-72 in the third quarter. And then Terrence Shannon hits a 3. Fox keeps carving up. And then Shannon hits another 3. And it's back to a 4-point game. And like that moment really stopped it getting away from the Wolves. Like they're at home. It's a game 4. They're down 2-1. Shannon, he couldn't hit fucking anything else the rest of the game. But he hits those back-to-back threes, which is essentially just like this tiny little 6-2 run. But it gets them back within 4 and stopped it getting away from the Wolves completely. The Spurs led 84-80 after the third quarter. And then they just fucking pedal to the metal. Ant-Man starts going off his head. I think they were back up 8 though, the Spurs, after the big Fox 3. It was like 94-86. And then the Wolves turn around and lead. It's like Ant-Man just goes off. He's just like fucking bang, bang, bang. 98-97, the Wolves have just put on a fucking show. It's like a 12-3 run. Ant-Man's just hitting everything. Fox hits this nice little floater. Spurs go back up. They're sort of back and forth, right? And it was interesting to watch them go big, small. Cornette, for all the, he gets a lot of compliments about his game. He was also pretty fucking shit in this and easily got, I think, at different times by both Naz Reid and then at the very end by Rudy Gobert, this stuff that they were. Like if Cornette was out there, it was like a weird sort of mix. And yeah, they looked a lot better when they were going full blown small. But Carter Bryant kept turning the ball over every time he touched it. And yeah, it sort of was a bit of a kick in the dick for the small ball lineup. But Ant-Man was cooking. Reed just goes through Cornet for a couple more. They're back up, are the Wolves, 199 with 4 minutes to go. I was really impressed by Dylan Harper. He was unreal. 3 minutes to go. He's just going to the guts. You get the and one for Rudy, though, after the great drop-off pass from Naz. And then they get this amazing 3 tries for the Wolves on the offensive rebounds. Ant-Man drives through everybody. They're back up 105-101. A bad offensive foul on Castle. 2 minutes to go. He's sort of just hooking everybody. It's like Castle, maybe not so obvious. And then they get this another amazing drop-off pass to Gobert. It's a 9-2 run over like this last little 2 minutes. And the Wolves basically just grab the game by the scruff of the neck. Fox was trying, and it was one of the more worrying aspects of like, all right, we don't have Wemby, but we've got De'Aaron Fox, noted excellent clutch player. And it just, yeah, it didn't go the way of the Spurs. Like Dylan Harper and Castle are still very young. They're very good. Fox is meant to be your dude at that point. And he sort of ran out of gas. Harper gets fouled, though, after forcing the turnover at the end. Ayo gets this amazing N1. They're back up 6. Gambles, like Fox gambles on the steal. It's pretty dumb. Ayo's by him. N1. They're back up 7. 1:10 to go. There's this Champagne dunk. And it's like a 5-point game again. Naz Reid gets a big O board off the AO missed 3. They are back up 7. 40 seconds left. Castle misses, but they then score. Then they force the turnover in the corner. Champagne gets fouled again. It's a 112-109 game out of absolutely fucking nowhere with 20 seconds left. They trap AO again. They somehow get to use their final timeout. They get the ball across in one of the most stupid fucking lucky ass things you'll ever see. Where there's this big long pass. AO somehow catches the ball. Well, he drops the ball. It should have gone out of bounds. But it hits the back of his leg as he's flailing around in the air. That slows it enough that he can turn around and stop the ball going out of bounds. He gets fouled. Free throws. Boom, they're back up 5 with like 10 seconds left. Spurs can't hit a shot after that. Game over. But the fact that they were right there, the Spurs, but for fucking AO's like right leg like spasming up in the air as he's trying to go full wide receiver Roddy White catch. It was ridiculous. It was a very entertaining end. Also extremely stupid, but very fun. So good game. Very fun. Spurs. I've got some worries. Right. Because what does Keldon Johnson do? Right? Hey, man, you won 6th Man of the Year. Can we get more than 17 minutes and 4 points on 4 shots and you don't even take a 3 out of you? And he's like, no can do, boss. How about 3 turnovers and 1 assist? And it's like, that's not what we wanted, Keldon. Wemby obviously gets booted. Deservedly so. But without that, Fox, he has 24 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Not bad. 3 steals. Only 1 turnover. He shot 8 of 23 and 1 of 7 from deep. Brutal. Vassell, 2 of 5 from deep, 14 points. Castle was very, very solid. 8 of 16 for him. 20 points, 4 assists, a steal and a block. But then, like Harper was the other good one. 24, 8 and 11, 8 of 11 shooting. He was fucking up. He's terrifying. I love him. So where the fuck is the shooting though? 6 of 26 from 3. You had Champagne go 0 of 5. It was brutal. He goes 2 of 8 overall. You have your entire bench. Harrison Barnes, Keldon Johnson, Carter Bryant, Cornet, and Dylan Harper. Harper's the only one who took a 3. Only one who hit a 3. And the only other one who took a 3 was Carter Bryant. It's like Harrison Barnes, Keldon Johnson. I don't think you're that shit. What are you doing? And yeah, it was pretty bad. And then for the Wolves, they 10 of 27 from downtown. It's like, yeah, that's solid. Right? Randall has 12, 8 and 3, but he has 6 turnovers. Brutal. 14 for Jaden McDaniels. 11 and 13 with 4 assists for Rudy Gobert. Who was amazing down the stretch. AO, 10 points. 3 and 12 shooting. Not great. But it was all balanced by Ant-Man, who ends up with 36, 6 and 2. Shoots 13 and 22 from the floor and dominated. That fourth quarter from him was super special. It was amazing. They got 15 out of Naz. Mike Conley hit a couple of threes. Terrence Shannon Jr., as I said, he only hit those 2 threes in the third quarter and did fuck all else. He has 8 points on 3-12 shooting. And the Wolves tie up the series 2-2. You little beauty. I reckon we're going 7. So let's do an NBA Australia Approved performer of the night.
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
Ant-Man. Honorable mention, Deuce McBride. Ant-Man was so fucking good. He was incredible at the start, and he was incredible at the end. 16 points in the fourth quarter, absolutely taking the piss. 36 points in his 40 minutes. Clearly still bothered by his knee, but 36 on 13 to 22 shooting, 3 of 5 on 3, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. Yes, he had the 4 turnovers, but you get that on the big jobs. Also had a steal. Was immense because every time, especially, so as I said, right, that little fourth quarter run that he had that dragged them back into the game where it's, again, threatened to sort of get away from them. He was absolutely incredible. There was also that possession where it was like the third bite at the cherry. So they've gotten 2 offensive rebounds and they finally go and like they've just like kept fucking missing. So it's their third shot. And this time Ant-Man's like, fucking, all right, get out of my road, and just like goes to the basket and lights it up and in. And you're like, yeah, that was tough. And that was such a big moment too, because you could see the Spurs, they were like, because they were small, they weren't able to get too many of these rebounds. And yeah, they made them pay. Ant-Man made them pay. What a game. 2-2. Spud of the night, though.
Spud it is. Spud of the night.
I mean, it was a bit weird, right? Watching VJ just sort of not be able to hit a 3. Edwards, well, they combined to go 0 of 12 from downtown. Jesus. But, you know, you don't like ragging on the rookies. 4 of 14 for VJ Edgecombe. He had 7 assists, though, and 0 turnovers, so we'll give him that one. I think the one thing that bugged me the most is like Keldon Johnson. I think Jamal Crawford might have even said this at one point. He's like talking about the 6-man sort of group. And it's like, what are you doing? Oh, we're just out here to get buckets. And it's like, Keldon Johnson, you played 17 minutes. And you took 4 shots and you had 4 points. You didn't even take a 3. Keldon Johnson, wherefore art thou, Keldon Johnson? It was just a weird fucking bummer of a performance more than anything else. For a dude who spent the entire season, like sort of, he shot what, 36% from 3, averaged 13, 5 and 1. Just a bit of a shit one. Yeah, averaged 3 pointers, 3 attempts at least a game, and yeah, it took 0. Anyway, and I would like to thank very much, after that second 3 that he hit, that really helped the Wolves stay in that game. Terrence Shannon Jr. at that point had shot. Oh yeah, there it is. Chill. He shot 3-11, but he ends up shooting 3 of 12. That was a pretty good little moment. But yeah, it's kind of bummed out by Keldon Johnson more than anything. You can also go PEDP. That was just, ugh. The game was over, though, so I guess you don't want him to get hurt. Old mate, no mates.
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 Old mate, no mates. Who's got no mates today? That would be Kevin Pritchard. It is so rare to have like the GM front office man come out and go, I'm sorry. I fucked up. I'm really sorry for all our fans. I own taking this, but he's old mate, no mates, because it's like, Kevin, we understand. Oh, but look, hey, we couldn't have that protection any lower, couldn't ya? There's no way that deal gets done unless you have that protection at top 5, huh? Interesting. Surprised it came up 5th after this year. I thought we would due some luck. Now, this is one of 2 things. A, he's an idiot. Luck is not a strategy. Or 2, Adam Silver gone, yes, Kevin, you can trade that away because just watch. I'm going to strip the Clippers of all their picks, and you get it back. Yeah, so I don't know what's going to happen there. But the Clippers, remember the aspiration scandal, how they've been paying Kawhi Leonard under the table quietly for the last 4 years. Yeah, we still don't have a resolution on that. It seems a bit weird, doesn't it? Do you reckon Adam Silver and co were just waiting until the end of this draft lottery and they go, fuck, they got the number 5 pick. Right, we're giving that back to Indy. You can't tell me that Adam Silver hasn't had just a quiet little word to the Pacers going, trade him that. You'll get it back. Should be apples. Yeah, we'll fuck him up. It's amazing. But yeah, old mate, no mates there is pretty crazy. Joel Embiid is a bit old mate, no mates as well. After the game, I said, I know we lost, but for me, this was a success. That's some real fucking loser talk. I get that your successful aspect here is like finishing the season healthy. But you also got swept. What are you doing, Joel? My favorite one, though, is LaMelo Ball and his partner had a baby. That's pretty nice, isn't it? 2 things. The partner's name is Anna Montana. Not her real name either. It's just really fucking strange to call yourself Anna Montana when there was already a Hannah Montana. Her real name is Annalicia Chavez, which I'm pretty sure is actually pretty fucking cool and just as good as Anna Montana, if not better. Anyway, they had a kid. That's good. Hooray! Why is that kid old mate, no mates, Jim? Well, you know how his name's LaMelo? And there's like LiAngelo, Lonzo, and he's LaMelo, right? What do you reckon they called this kid? Because they called it LaOne. That's right. LaOne Ball. I'll let that. LaOne Ball. Pray for that kid in school. How many nuts have you got, LaOne Ball? He's like, what, 2? What? That is fucking child abuse. Like, calling your kid LaOne Ball? Fucking hell. Just start calling him Dipshit McGee. Fuck me dead. Anyway, pantsing of the night.
Fatty, fat.
It's such a pantsing just calling your kid LaOne Ball. Anyway, pantsing of the night, obviously Joel Embiid. I actually had this written down in my notes yesterday. I forgot to mention on yesterday's show. Got absolutely fucking posted by Mitch Robinson. And I did have a Knicks mate of mine reach out and go, Jim, why didn't you mention that on yesterday's show? I'm like, fucking, to be honest, I had it written down. I completely skipped over it. That was amazing. Great poster. People are at the game today holding up the pictures of it and shit. Very funny. I like that. But Embiid obviously coming out and going, I know we lost, but for me, this was a success. That's a self-pantsing. But also, it does bring up, once again, the simple fact that Joel Embiid is the single only MVP in NBA history to not even make a conference finals. Yeah, that's a pantsing. And I guess on top of that, what the Knicks fans did to Philly, turning Philadelphia into New York West, was, a pantsing. New York South, whatever you want to call it, Southwest. It was hilariously bad. You should be ashamed of yourself, Sixers fans. Like, even Maxey was asked about it after. He's like, it absolutely sucks, if I'm being honest. It just sucks. That's really all I can say about it, man. It's hard. It's definitely difficult. It's only one way to put a stop to it, and it's we have to go out there and win these games. Just being completely honest, we were better when we played them in the Garden this entire season. I know we lost game 2 and 1, but game 2 was better. The regular season was better. I was telling them it felt louder here for them than it did in the Garden. Jesus fucking hell. So that's the Knicks fans in Philly louder than the Knicks fans in the Garden. We got to put a stop to it as a team. Winning these games, that's going to make our fans louder than theirs or whatever. I don't know how to keep them out. I don't know the logistics of it, but it does suck. I can't even lie. It definitely does suck. And that sounds like you got pantsed at home. Like, that is someone walking into your house going, Jim, look over there. And they're like, what? And whoop, pantsed. Fatty, fat. Like, not nice. Funny, though. Sucked in, Sixers fans. All right, better than Bronny James, Ben Simmons, and Lonzo Ball.
Lonzo was the best player in high school. He was the best player in college. You think he'll get to the pros and be like, I made it to the pros, now I can be average. He's coming for everybody.
Coming for everybody. Dylan fucking Harper. Holy crap. Even in the losing effort, he was good. 24 points on 8 of 11 shooting. 7-7 at the line, 1-1 from 3. 24 points in 27 minutes. He was absolutely awesome. 3 steals, 2 turnovers, an assist. And obviously Deuce McBride. Holy crap. 25 points. He hit 7 of 9 from 3. Love a bit of Deuce McBride. 25 points in 29 minutes, 4 rebounds, 0 assist. I'm touching this, I'm shooting it. That's Deuce McBride. And 1 steal. So he was a plus 33 in 29 minutes. That's pretty good. And finally, the Draymond Green Memorial Dickhead of the Weekend Award.
Dickhead of the Week.
It's Draymond. I did very much enjoy Jeff Ross roasting Kevin Hart, but also getting Draymond in the process. Saying Steph Curry couldn't make it tonight, but he did carry Draymond Green all the way here. Love you, buddy. I'm not going to make fun of you because you're violent. You've been ejected more times than a Kevin Hart DVD. It's pretty funny. That's not bad. Yeah. Sucked in, Draymond. All right, let's do some quick yeah-nahs after this.
This is Cam Glidden.
This is Anthony Drimmick.
This is Mitch McCarron.
This is Jason Kadee.
This is Darryl McDonald.
Hey guys, this is Hugh Greenwood.
Yo, what's going on? This is Illy.
This is Mark Worthington, or commonly known as Wortho, and you're listening to NBA Australia.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA
And you're
Australia.
listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
All right, let's do some yeah-nahs brought to you by you. That's right, help support the show. All you have to do is go to buymeacoffee.com/NBA Australia. Easy as you like. Help keep the lights on here, keep us doing this stuff. You also get exclusive content every month. That's fun. It is very fun. I love doing the Dead Set Legends Club shows. So you can join the Dead Set Legends Club simply by buying me a beer or a coffee. And it's simply at buymeacoffee.com/NBA Australia. Basically, it's our Patreon, right? So it helps, keep it all rolling. So if you're wanting to help out and support the show, off you go. If you've got a business, want to help support the show, I'll run ads for you. Simple as that. Just hit us up. All right, let's do some yeah-nahs. Matty B! G'day, Jim. Congrats on the 1,400, mate. Thank you. It is a very large number. Yeah, nah, Tony Brothers actually thought he was applying for a job at NAB, not the NBA. This dude always seriously does not look like he enjoys basketball at all. Yeah, nah, this is a great shout. Yeah. Like, at least some of the refs, you can understand that they sort of enjoy doing their job. Tony Brothers looks like he's just fucking angry all the time about having to do anything. Like, at that point, you got to be like, wouldn't you retire? Like, it's crazy. Now he's getting into it with coaches and shit. Just like, Tony, just fucking settle down, mate. Just go work in a bank. That was so good. He is a guy who does not look like he enjoys his work. So, yeah, it's a good shout, Matty B. Matty O sent in, got your wish, Jim? Yeah, nah. It's like, yeah, the Knicks. I mentioned this one earlier because I'm going to be in the States from the middle of next week for the start of the Eastern Conference and Western Conference finals. I'm going to go to a couple of games. But I think, as I've mentioned, right, my favorite thing is New York when one of their teams is in the playoffs. Every bar is fucking packed. Maybe not so much for the Nets, obviously, but the Knicks, everything goes fucking apeshit. The Rangers, the Yankees, the Mets. I mean, it's awesome. So, yeah, I'm fucking stoked that they're in the Eastern Conference Finals while I'm going to be in New York. I'm very happy with that. I don't know if I'll actually go to a game at MSG. I think I'll go to whoever they're playing against as well. Because it's just almost so fucking fun watching them in bars as everyone's going ape shit. But yeah, got my wish. I'm happy with that. So good job on New York. The other thing was like, oh man, it would have been kind of nice if Philly had gotten through, but by the same token, I then would have been in New York and like every Knicks fan just would be just so fucking pissed that it'd be crazy. But that'd also be kind of fun. But anyway, I'm much happier to be in the city while they're in the Eastern Conference Finals. It's going to be crazy. Right, Should the Wizards actually contemplate trading the number 1 pick, Jim? Yeah, nah. Depends on for whom, but I'm probably going to say nah. The Wizards, like if you give them a chance to fuck it up, they probably will. So again, as I said at the top, I think you really need to narrow their choices down and just go, you can only do this, and I think you have to take the best player that fits your team. Whether that's like Peterson, DeBanster, it's probably DeBanster for Washington if you're going to try to keep Trae Young and figure this out. But Peterson's pretty fucking good. So, I don't know. I wouldn't trade the 1, but that's just me. Who knows what the fuck the Wiz will do. Should Wemby have been tossed from the game today? Yeah, nah. Yeah. I think there's the turn of the head. He looks and sort of sees and then throws the elbow. You're like, yeah, it's not good. Don't do that. Absolutely should have been tossed. Do you reckon Wolves Spurs go 7? Yeah, nah. Well, it's at least going 6. So odds on it goes 7. The Wolves putting up such a good fight today. Like Wemby being out obviously opens the door. For them to open the door, walk through it and actually finish with a win, despite having a pretty shit shooting night, was pretty good. Yeah, I think it goes 7 because I think I can definitely see the Spurs getting another one. It depends on the Wolves if you think they can win game 5 or 6 and off they go. Indy, are you overstating how much of a disaster this is, Jim? Yeah, nah, I don't think so. 2 first, Benny Mathurin. Yes, I know you weren't going to pay Benny Mathurin and your cap sheet was going to be fucking through the roof and Zoobs is on a good contract, but you had a really, really, really good opportunity to sort of just like, I don't know, managed to do what Golden State didn't do, right? Which is have a combination of the veterans and young dudes and sort of trying to meld them in a way that benefits both timelines. And it's really hard to do, but Indy, like especially in the small market where they just never get free agents, that sort of shit, and you're sort of looking at it and go, oh, it's okay, we've got a 29-year-old Zoobs, and you're like, I don't know if that's a great outcome for 2 firsts and a Benny Mathurin, but yeah, I think it's pretty fucked. So, yes, not great. Unpopular opinion of the day.
Now look at me, please. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me.
Oh, wait. Sorry. I just kind of think, I said this a little while ago. I feel like we're kind of overreacting to the tanking just a little bit. And then the lottery happens and it's like, yeah, all the ones who did like some of the most egregious tanking got fucked by it, which is funny. But yeah, the Wizards somehow benefiting despite like giving up 83 points to Bam Adebayo this year and Indy getting fucked over by the basketball gods. Utah somehow jumping up a couple of spots. Yeah. It's going to be like I feel like we needed to fix it. But by the same token, like it's still kind of working the way it's meant to, right? I still reckon we just flatten the odds completely. But anyway. Outback Takehouse for today. It's Monday at Outback, and you know what that means. Oh, yeah, taking the squids to kindy in school today. One's in the pram, the other one's on his scooter. Grab some badminton rackets on the way down there just so they could reach a bit further and go bang, bang, bang. Every time you hit the bang, off they go. So on today's specials board, Kookaburra wings, only at Outback. Great with the lemon pepper. Today's Flame Grilled Take was giving the number 2 pick to the Utah Jazz was Adam Silver saying, I'm sorry for finding you and then just stopping finding anybody else. That was weird. Only at Outback. It was weird. Adam Silver's like, you're fined $500,000 for tanking. And then everybody proceeded to fucking tank the next 2 months. And there were no more fines. It's a bit fucking weird, isn't it? What are we doing here, Adam? And Utah should have been, and they were pissed off, obviously. And rightfully so, because like what, Indy got fined or whatever. But Utah copping a $500,000 fucking hit. It's absolutely Adam Silver going, I'm sorry I took that money from you. Here's the number 2 pick. Okay, thanks, Adam. Thanks. Right. Australian Player Watch for today. Jim, what happened? Yeah, Jingles didn't play. So that's a did not play coach's decision right there. And, yeah. We continue apace. How about Andrew Gay's Great Mumber Award for Outstanding Achievement in the Field of Excellence? Andrew Gay's Great Mumber.
Outstanding achievement in the field of
excellence. Thanks to all the legends who sent me the excellent post of the Gazy picture, which I thought was amazing, by the way. It really was. Like, it was all going on, and you've got just like hanging on the wall, and I'm like, what is going on here? The disrespect for the Grey Mamba is just crazy. But the person tweets out, anyone watching UFC, who the heck is number 10? And it's the GOAT, the Grey Mamba himself. So the disrespect is absolutely crazy. Gazy would fuck his all up. Still, Deuce McBride today is the first Nick to hit 4 threes in the first quarter of a playoff game since play-by-play tracking happened in 97. But that's it. Jalen Brunson, he hit 2 more, right? They went 11 of 13. It's the most makes in a quarter. That's the Knicks helped. Basically, they tied the record for the most made threes in a quarter. That was gnarly. And they had 18 threes in the first half. 54 points off the threes, which is pretty crazy. The Sixers had 57 total in the first half. So the Knicks were basically beating them just on threes. You take that away, that's incredible. And they've also now scored 80-plus points in the first half twice in 5 road playoff games this season. So the Knicks are doing pretty bloody well. All right. How about tomorrow's games, Jim? Let's do some game previews. Game previews. Thanks to Inadvertent Bane. Not a problem, Jim. How's it all going? Yeah, not bad. I don't know, just a bit tired after the early wake up. And now my phone's gone all spazzy. What's going on? Let's go. What are we looking at? Let's look at some Patty Mills. We got any Patty Mills? Give us a Patty Mills. We got any Patty Mills here? There's a Patty Mills. No Patty Mills. We got a Jock Landale. That's right. Had a wedding. Isn't that nice? Good on you, Jock. Great weekend. Happiest of Mother's Day to these 2 incredible women, and huge congrats to Hill and the little fella on getting hitched. Oh, that's nice. Good stuff. That's some good photos from Jock. Someone get him on the show. Right. Let's look at these game previews. What do we got? Game 4's Tuesday. Remember, you can find our picks over at Dabble. The link is in our show description and our social bio, so go hit that up. We have 2 game 4's, and so today, what did we do? I think we took Philly. Yeah, we had the 2 home underdogs, so we went 1 of 2 today. We got the Wolves, we missed out on the Sixers. Tomorrow, we are going the 2 away teams. Detroit plus 3.5 in Cleveland. Why is that, Jim? I think the defense, they were right there in game 3. And I feel like Cleveland, it was very patched over like their entire game. Right? Harden hitting a couple, he was massive down the stretch. Don't get me wrong. Donnie Mitchell was really, really good. Mobley was still a bit, I think the Pistons have got a really good one in them, and I just sort of want to take the plus 3.5 because I think even if this is a Detroit loss, I don't know if it gets away from them. So they could probably keep it really super duper close. I think we deserve a classic in that series as well. So give me Detroit plus 3.5 because if you think they can win and they're underdogs, I'm taking the points. And the other one goes OKC at Lakers. The Lakers. Do you believe the Lakers will get a game? I don't think so. If they do, good on them, but I'm going to take the Thunder minus 10.5 because it is hilarious how games 2 and 3 were the exact same game where OKC, it's basically the verbal meme, the picture of the guy playing the game with his controller, and the next panel is he needs to concentrate more, so he's leaning forward. It's exactly what OKC did in games 2 and 3. Oh, we're down by 1 at the half. All right, now we're concentrating more, and they kick the shit out of him. So, yeah, going to take the Thunder minus 10.5. I just really worry about the Lakers offense keeping up with them, and the Lakers defense stopping them, and everything about the Lakers against OKC. Yeah. Nice. But there you go. So that'll be fun. Those are two good games. Maybe not for Lakers fans, but we'll find out. Either way, we'll be back on deck, I reckon, quickly tomorrow. I don't know. Do you like the little daily drop-ins or not? Because like those Tuesday and Thursday shows are a little bit shorter. Or we can just pile it into Wednesday. I don't know. Let me know what you reckon. But I guess if we're saying goodbye to the Lakers, I'd rather sort of do the two games at once. Anyway, so make sure you're following NBA Straya on Twitter, Facebook, IG, TikTok, and YouTube. Jump in the comments, say g'day. Make sure you subscribe, get the notifications on, all that sort of stuff. Get around Footy Unfiltrated as well. Big weekend of footy. We'll be taping that one tomorrow. Big wrap-up of all your AFL gear. Jim does Supercoach, AFL Supercoach. As I mentioned on yesterday's show, disaster with your man Cozzy just stinking it up, and I wasn't able to VC loop anybody, so that was a bit of a train wreck. But anyway, I'll talk about that on Jim Does Supercoach if that's your bag. And NFL Australia as well. Good to see Gaz on the weekend. You can rate, review, subscribe across all of those shows on your Apple Podcast, YouTube, all that sort of stuff. Whatever podcast app you do use, make sure you're subscribed. You can also help support the show. buymeacoffee.com/NBA Australia. I do drink a lot of coffee. And beers. Big thanks always go to From Oslo for the intro and outro song. Go check out House Hats, Joshua Durandis, Fascinated, Goldmines, Ramshackle Army, Iowa, Sextra, Green, and Dozers. They're behind all the tunes you hear. Smash them on your music streaming platform of choice. Right, that's it. We're going to finish up with a brand new Delhi review. It is a Monday, and we'll probably catch you tomorrow, you dickheads. This is NBA Australia saying, look after yourselves, would ya? Hug your mates, and latos. How the fuck is? It's your old mate Delhi over here, just swinging by for my latest pop culture review on NBA Australia. Yeah, I've not been up to too much, since I won that NBA title. Remember that? That was fucking sick as, man. Yeah, it's pretty good. And now every coach is fucking leaving, getting fired, all that sort of shit. I'm just sitting back going, fucking no, this is pretty good. I'm pretty chill. Been watching a bunch of the NBA. Jumping on the old dog and bone every so often, just going, hey, LeBron, mate, do you need a fucking veteran defensive first point guard? What do you reckon? And he's like, who is this? I'm like, fucking try, mate, tell you fucking dickhead. What are you talking about? Who is this? Fuck off. Oh, you're fucking funny, LeBron. Yeah. Anyway, so, yeah, no dice, but it's been pretty good to have a bit of time off, isn't it? Anyway, so I guess because of that, the misso and I just fucking hanging out the other night, and she's like, let's watch a movie, and I'm like, fucking yes, mate, dinosaurs. She's like, what? I'm like, dinosaurs. She's like, okay. I'm like, yeah, fucking dinosaurs. Give me that new Jurassic Park. And she's like, all right, what's this one? I'm like, it's got that fucking chick from it. Fucking what's her name? The one from the Avengers. And she's like, oh, fucking ScarJo. I'm like, yeah, fucking ScarJo. And we watched the ScarJo Jurassic Park, and you're like, fucking, yeah, it's certainly got dinosaurs in it. And it's certainly a movie with dinosaurs. So, yeah, it gets 14 out of 10 Delhi ones in my opinion, so I loved it. Anyway, there you go. Jurassic Park. Fucking ScarJo. Go check it out. Anyway, that'll do us for this week. We'll catch you next time. Later, fuckers. Delhi out.